Okay, it's 2/14, 2020, 7:07 a.m. Black as a ghost. Okay, we're gonna make this part 5, but we may change it on the title. We're gonna consolidate some of these videos and do some editing because it's a lot. Anyway, we're gonna try to make this as fast as possible, less than 30 minutes. So to get right into it, my name is Kenneth Wesley Peters. I am the sole representative of my name, Kenneth Wesley Peters, and I have sole claim to my name. Also, I'm doing business as Kenneth Wesley Peters. This recording is for copyright purposes only. I am the author of this recording. As you can see my face in the recording at this time, my lips are moving and speaking these words. All rights are reserved by me, the author Kenneth Wesley Peters. That includes, not limited to, reproduction of this recording. Also, any outside reproduction of this recording is restricted by me, the author, Kenneth Wesley Peters. It includes, not limited to, print rights, illustrations, so visual, audio and visual, artwork, intellectual property, the sound that is emanating in this room from my voice, echoing off these walls, however far my voice carries outside of this 4-square facility room that I'm standing in. All rights are reserved by me, the author, Kenneth Wesley Peters. Also, any rhythms, beats, lyrics, melodies, rhymes are all restricted by the author, Kenneth Wesley Peters. As to reproduction, any kind of reproduction of this video is once again restricted to me, the author, Kenneth Wesley Peters. Thank you. Now, just to state real quick, as I do in every video, 3 times is a charm, once is random, twice is a coincidence, and 3 times is a pattern in science. Also, a fact is a fact until proven otherwise. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna try to keep this recording going. I think it's a better recording day. It's we have a fresh illustration here that we can work with, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump right in. Okay. So why is Black a ghost? Black is a ghost. And in the final video, we're going to demonstrate. It's just going to be a demonstration video of. We're going to do actual experiments to show why black is what we call a ghost. Because in elementary school, they told us that every color comes from black, and on the color wheel, when you spin the color wheel, you see the colors begin to merge together, and they create an image of black because of how fast the color wheel is spinning. Now on that color wheel, you got red, yellow, green. I'm sure you would have probably green, blue, and white. These are your primary colors. White is a pure color, because white is an extraction from or a depletion from those other colors. Now, in pigmentation, some tend to think of it as a depletion in color in the skin or the pigment of the skin, which gives it a more bleachy or white effect in the hue of the pigmentation. An example of this is albinos, those who have features like mine, who are of the blood of the tribe that I'm from, we are from the same blood, but there has been a depletion of the pigmentation. One way to achieve this is to continue to breed in the lighter and lighter or lighter skin. Uh, Mates will breed, in theory, a lighter skinned baby at some point, and then you continue from there. You get a lighter and lighter effect. Now, there's some sort of deficiency in a skin depletion of color. The albino has the African features, but the skin is almost bleach white, which is for as far as women are concerned, is very attractive to me. You know, I'm not running scared from any color because I don't play the color game. Now, when you're talking about nationality, when you're talking about blood lineage, uh, and descended from, now we're talking about something more physical that one can take a position on. It makes more sense. Uh, uh, like uh, Inky and KT was saying, eat right for your haplotype. That comes from Sebi, which makes sense to me. And it comes down to blood lineage. So the better fruits, in other words, the better herbs and fruits that would be foods and fuel would be better served from where one's origin occurs. That's one factor or reason why one should be concerned about blood lineage and all. It is the information in the blood, the DNA in the blood, where they have you again focused on something that is not sufficient as to uh, one's condition. The blood is okay and descended from. You could say that it's a European concept where kings and queens, and descendants of kings and queens, who will be knights, who will be the peasantry, who will be the the monarchs, and who have who will be able to serve in the royal house, for instance. Um, I would like to think that that maybe came from an Egyptian culture. Uh, I will let the historians deal with that. Now, we're going to keep it moving. We back on the only reason we're here with the 808, but we're using the 808 now to show, and this is the actual 808 symbol. You have 5 circles. You have an 8, you have an O, and you have an 8. Now, we're showing why this has to do why black is a ghost. Uh, Not so directly, uh, but as I said on the color wheel before we get started on this 808 thing, on the color wheel, you have to spin the color wheel, and we'll get a color wheel. We'll spin it, and we'll see if we get this color here or the effect here. Okay. Now, in order to get this effect of this pin top, there's no black, no so-called black to support this. But there's red in this. There's blue in this. There's yellow in this. There's probably green in this. And there's also white in this. Because black out of black is black might be void of white, but can also produce white because of the deficiency in the skin when the white is produced. White is a pure color. Okay? Um, in other words, any color mixing in with white sort of messes white up. It turns it to pink. It turns it to something else. So you need white to get more white. And yes, there's shades of white, but the whitest of white, you cannot get it whiter with any other color once it is present. Now again, white is simply a deficiency in skin pigmentation. We see this in the albino people where the skin is, you have an African male or female when the skin is white. Okay, we can see how a lot of times your actual life experience is the Bible. Not just the book. You have to look at what is occurring on the ground, and anything short of a fact, you use common sense. So how do you get white? The albino. Farrakhan said it, and it's true. As far as we're concerned over here in the Outlaws Alternative Law Group, capital A-L-T, lowercase L-T, capital A, once again, lowercase L-T, capital L, lowercase A-W-S. Outlaws, representing the Outlaws Group. We're representing street law, whether the street like it or not. But here we go. Uh, First of all, I want to show here in this illustration, every letter in the alphabet is in this one symbol. That says a lot. Of course, you get your O. You have an L. You have an A. We have B. We have C. We have D. We have F. We have G. Let's see. G's in there as well. G, A, B, C, D, F, G, H. We have H. We have I. We have L, M. We have N, O. We have P. We have Q. Here's Q. We have W. We have X. We have Y. And we have Z. Okay? Okay? Here's where we're going with the 808. Now, for those who are not in the know of how to decode on a higher celestial level, and a higher being would use a symbol like this, and one not unknowing would see this as maybe a snowman, or see it as just rings like the Olympic rings, which have deep meaning as well. Those are the elements: fire, wind, earth, water, and air. Oh, wait a minute: fire, wind, earth, water, and there's one other, not to be mentioned right now. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so there's every letter showing here. Letters have power. Each letter is a symbol. It symbolizes something. It may symbolize more than one thing, or many things. Okay, like the O, for instance, has a lot of symbolization. Okay, even Z has symbolization. Why? Because Z, you're getting the two angles. You're getting two 90-degree angles. Boom. Right? And when you merge the two across, they cross sector. I'll show an example of that in a minute. It makes a diamond. So basically, if you're taking this Z, here's a Z, right? And you merge this one this way, it creates a diamond in the middle, right? And with wings, right? And that could be considered You know, the pineal gland, it could be considered more than one thing. You have a diamond crossover on the railroad tracks. These are good examples of a railroad track. It's also an example of a circuit in your home that brings your electricity to you. Think about it. There's so many ways that this correlates. Here's a series circuit. So if the light bulb goes out here, the light bulb stays on here. Why? Because the current has another way to go. See? A series circuit was created. Therefore, the other lights would stay on. You have a single circuit, simple circuit, you have a parallel circuits, and then you have the series circuit, and it goes on from there. With switches, four-way switches, three ways. But this is a basic layout for a hot wire, right, and a return to its source. This is a loop. Okay, energy out, input, output, output, input, right? What else in this illustration? We have the Liberty Bell. Now all of this is going to come together real quick. We're going to do it fast. We're going to bring it all together. Okay? Here is the male phallus, right? Because that is a symbol of the male phallus in the esoteric world. We're talking in esoteric terms now. We're talking about secret symbols, where symbols used in magic, symbols used in sorcery. These are the symbols that are being used in your law. These are the symbols that are being used that you're not aware of, while you're 70% water wall black in a penitentiary, and you can't figure out why. Why are you prescribing to yourself as black as the foundation that supports all the rest of man on the planet? Aren't we just a nice tribe? Aren't we so sweet? It's like a cheerleader group where the bottom cheerleaders are the strongest, but they're holding up the smaller cheerleaders all the way up to the pyramid. That represents a top-down system in itself at a high school basketball game. The cheerleaders on the side of the out of bounds cheerleading, and they get into a structure of a pyramidal position. And cheerleaders know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to have the stronger girls on the bottom, and maybe a couple of guys to hold up the rest of the ladies as they go up to the top. Okay, and the most agile one is at the top. The lighter one normally is at the top. Okay, here we have the male phallus, which is a pyramid or a triangle shape, but the penis is going up into the female's vagina, or a womb is here, and hers is pointing down. When the two meet here in the center, conception takes place here. All right, and in the period, in the crossroads. We've been over this in other videos. Here we have your crossroads, the equinox and the solstice meet on the 21st each time. Let's go to another illustration. Right? Show you what's happening here. Now, here we go. I did these earlier. That way we could just breeze through them. I don't have to be, trying to write this stuff out while I'm just talking. Okay, so quickly, here we have Without confusing you, the only reason why you see so many circles here, each one supposed to be representing 360 degrees, is because we're dealing with the 808. Now, once you bring in the 808, it's telling just about every story. It has every letter in the alphabet in it. It probably has every number in there. Just in symbolization, I'm talking now. It's called a sigil in the craft, right? In sorcery. A sigil has a hidden message. A sigil brings together and ties together letters uh, that symbol creates a symbol of something, and the message is hidden, or the message is hidden in plain sight, right? Like for instance, you have the 808, right? Once you bring in the equinox, goes across straight like this, the plane of Earth, the equinox, you get a split. You get an ISO image now. Now, once you split it, you get the M, you get the O, and you get another M. These are the mounds. If you just get mounds like this is mom all day long. Mom. M-O-M. Mom. And on the bottom, when you see mom and she looking good and hot, we say, wow. We say, wow. You see that? Mom is tied to wow so much. Wow, mommy, in the English language and in our culture, and you wonder where these things come from. You wonder that they just popped out of our mouth. But even if it did, it probably has something to do with pre-programming and programming of the DNA, maybe even in the blood, because we are restricted. Remember, we're only using 10% of our supposed brain. We're only using a certain percentage of our DNA and information. We only have access to so much of it. It's partitioned off. It's partitioned. So, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Total Recall, one may have brushes of, as my partner said, B said, you have moments of light, moments of clarity. One may make a shot from half court without looking because of a momentary instance of clarity, which is one would be accessing the main database where that shot has been made over 1,000,000,000,000 times or into infinity. You see? Now, speaking of infinity, here's your symbol for infinity right here, right? 8 is also a symbol. It can also be used as a number. All right, when you lay it on its side, now it's infinity. Now it's infinity. Could it be because of the torus field? The horn torus? Where's the horns? The horns are here. Diverging back down into divergence. Divergence. Why is it Baphomet? Because when you enter into consciousness, you are in Christian doctrine, you are within sin. The minute you are born, really conceived, you are of the sin because the blood is tainted. Why is the blood tainted? Jesus is hung here on the cross. Baphomet is coming through too. Satan is coming through here too. That's why it's tainted. And you can't be out here in the conscious realm without being tainted. This is the thing. Why? What does it have to do with law? Well, if you're following Helios, Jesus, Yahshua's, if you're following the sun and the trek of the sun, because in the east, in the evening you're looking west, and in the morning you're looking east for the sun. You're following the sun, and if you follow the sun, then you trust in Jesus, and Jesus, you trust in the sun. The sun will provide to you. The sun will provide you heaven. It's only through Only through Jesus, Helios, can you get to God. Only through Helios can you get to God. So if you follow in the sun, you're ending up in a magnetic revolution back into a revelation, back into revolution and revelation, back into a new living, a new living. One is existing through this whole process. The spirit is existing. It is continuously entering and exiting. That's why it sounds in rhymes together. Existing, exiting. It's continuously exiting from into eternity or infinity. This is the belief. See? And then people say, well, there's no reincarnation. Well, Jesus went to heaven. After 3 days, returned into a conscious physical realm called Earth, onto the plane again. Right? So here's where intercourse occurs, interactions. Here is where the booty starts shaking. This is where the bacon and the money making. This is the commerce. See? It's profit off of the energy. Now, it's wall-to-wall, black, so-called. It's really highly melanated beings in the prison system. It is a revolving system, a recyclical system, not a reform system. It continues to move in and out, input, output of the same product. Now, highly melanated beings absorb sunlight at a higher degree than lighter melanated beings. They make a better resource of energy to put in a cell and receive a charge and get put into a cell. Does that sound familiar? It sounds like a battery, doesn't it? Morpheus in the Matrix was trying to tell Neo that you are a energy source in a cell that is encased in a battery, and your recyclical energy is being used by the processors of the machine. The machine is using the human energy to produce its own recyclical energy in the movie The Matrix. This is what we're telling you over here at the over here the Outlaws Group. These Hollywood movies are giving you the information, the truth in plain sight. Right? Again, how do we end up with the male phallus? Right here. Here it is, right here. Right? Here's the female womb, right up here. Don't that look like a womb once you come across here with this? Right? Now here's a better illustration. Here's the period. And the reason why this is a period here, the button on the snowman. You ever wonder why a snowman has buttons? Why would a snowman need buttons here? Because the buttons are representing the period, the center of Earth. If this is a top-down version of a globe, then the pole is like this going down through the Earth. There's your period, right at the top of that pen. Right? Down through the Earth, out the other end would be the South Pole. It's the same pole though. Now on a flat Earth model, now we're pretending like this is not globe shaped, because the globe shape, anything moving out is going south because it's going down, 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 down. There's no kingship for east or west. Okay, on a flat Earth model, this would be the center of the Earth. On a globe, the center of the Earth would be down through it. Well, here, This would be the top of the crown, north, down inside of the earth. When you get near the heart section or whatever of the earth, towards the center of the earth, then you're in the center. On a flat earth model, though, the center of the earth is here. You're just moving towards the center. Once you leave from the center, no matter which direction you leave in, you're headed south. This is Brother Sanchez said this, and we tend to agree with him. We understand where he's going with that. We definitely understand where he's going with that, because anything moving away from north is headed south. This is the idea of the belief system that they have at the top. Okay, where this law is being enacted, engineered, administered, and enforced. Okay, so up here we have the north polarity. Down here we have the south polarity. And everything moving south, you best to open your mouth and holler, because it's a nightmare scenario. Anything south, southeast DC, South Bronx, south of Chicago, South LA. I don't care where you go. Down south, dirty south, just go south. And, it's a pleasant living, but it's just, they're at the top, their belief system. It's not, I'm not saying this is what we believe. We're telling you what they believe. And what's important, what they believe, is really more important right now, because this is the situation on the ground. This is how we're being victimized. Now here with this one, you have an orange illuminated here to represent Jesus on the cross. Now we have 21, 21, 21, 21, and 21. All right. What these are showing is that down here in the winter, the 21st of December, right? Up here we have the 21st of September. Up here we have the 21st of June, 21st of June, 21st of June, 21st of June, 21st of June. And over here we have near the sun, let me get it in there, we have the 21st of March, and the sun starts there. This is where the beginning of the year starts. See, people are getting it wrong. Here's the beginning of the year. This is Santos's work. This is Santos Bonacci's work. This is where I got this from. It makes a lot of sense. I looked into it. I researched it, and the man is right. And I'm giving it its proper due accreditation to Santos for that. Now, dealing with the 808 though, as far as I know, now if it's somebody else that got this already, I'll give credit to them if we find them online or whatever. But as far as we know, ain't nobody going in and on the 808 like this right now. So now we're extending their work, and we're saying that everything is encompassed in this 808. All the letters of the alphabet encompassed in this 808. Probably all numbers are encompassed in here. Oh, really, Kenny? Oh, well, I see a number 2. I see 1. I see 3. I see 4. You see what I'm saying? I see 5. I see 6. I see 7. I see 8. Of course, it's the 808. I see 9. And I see 10. Okay? Every number is encompassed in the 808 in the sigil form. So if this was just a symbol, we could pull every number in the English out of this, and every English letter out of this in the alphabet. So we can formulate any word in here to symbolize whatever we want it to symbolize. It's whatever we will it to say, whatever we decide that it's going to say. And people have to understand about this will thing. See, the reason why you have to update your image, people who are referring to yourselves as black, you are literally going to have to unpeel the stipulation, the belief system of black being something evil. You're going to have to peel all that back and use so much will of energy, and you can't do it by yourself. Why? Because there's others who believe in this system and willing it into existence more than you. Now, maybe you have a special power of mind. Maybe your mind is more open than others, and you can channel a lot of positive energy on black. But at the where we are right now on the ground is time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. What we need is an upgrade. We need an upgrade. Why? Because black has no standing in law. President Obama told you this on the Tom Joyner Morning Show back in, I think, 2011, somewhere around in there. Obama said, Tom Joyner asked him, why don't you refer to yourself as black? He said, because black has no standing in law. And it doesn't, because there's no nationality or in Taj Bay and them are right. The Moors over there, they right about this, brother. You know, you don't have to agree with everything that a group of people say for them to be right about something. It makes very clear sense to us. Why we even debate this issue is beyond me. Okay? If you refer to yourself as black, how can you have claim on something where the rest of the entire world are using flags, are using their lineage of their ancestry that return to the ground and dust or bleed blood into the soil in war, right? The DNA goes into the soil and pushes up grass, trees that we breathe oxygen from. So Sebi makes sense, brother. It don't matter, you know, we ain't debating whether this, I'm not, whether this man is real or fraud as far as his products he was selling. I never purchased any because I'm not lazy. Sebi said, hey, this is how you do it. This is what you need. And if you're too lazy to do it your fucking self, I have some products here for you, and yeah, I'm gonna charge you for it. And why not? Why not make a profit? Yes, make a profit off your people because we making profits for everybody else. Remember now, black is the dirt in the soil that's holding up my feet, right? Because I don't prescribe myself as black. I'm looking to achieve more than just being a foundation holding up the rest of these goddamn people in this fucking world who have zero respect for you. Hillary Clinton told you she was right. I don't care if you voted for her ass or not or how you feel about her. Black Lives Matter is a weak term. Why? It is a weak title. It is vulnerable, impenetrable, and that's exactly what they did because they got people on the other side who are not fucking around and playing games. They know about sorcery. They know how to cast spells. Like my partners is telling me now. If you're going to be in law, you have to be aware of these things. It's not, listen, you don't have to do as the Romans do, but you should know as they do when in Rome. Now, we in the DMV. We got all these new funny looking faces coming in here, you know, looking at an aboriginal to the land, to the soil, the blood. My ancestors are right here. This brother Dane Calloway is saying. He's from here. He's doing the research. We're doing the research. I'm getting research from my father who's doing research. Okay? And very intelligent elders right here in the DMV that's doing this research that I know personally that are saying that's exactly what the fuck it is. So why are we wasting time? Okay? So yes, we proudly, as 50 said, are proud of it, Pop. We representing the street with this law. I'm handling this now my way. And my partners, we handling it our way. Now we don't agree on every point. So there's you know why? Because when there's no way you can agree on every point, and anybody that's doing that is just a butt boy or follower. You don't have kingship if you agree with every fucking thing somebody says. Why? Sebi was right. We're sick in the head. We all need help. You need Black Jesus for sure. So tune into that man's channel. Because Black Jesus helped open my eyes, brother and sister. Yes, he did. And he was the only one to bust Polite's ass on Sarnetta's show. And Sarnetta, you know Polite lost that debate. Stop playing. Now here we go. What is going on here? Let's get down to it. Let's stop playing with it. When you reemerge into conscious through a reincarnation, you are back into sin, vanity, and everything else. Where? Why? Because up here you're in the crown. Jesus died on the cross and went to heaven, north. Bing, right? But then he returned, right? In 3 days to the land and sent a message to say goodbye to his disciples. And those were the 12 disciples, 21 backwards. If I flip this over, that's a 12. See how that works? 21 is the iso image of 12. These things all correlate. This is the point. Okay. In order to create law, one must first come together in trust with whoever's going to be governing the law, whoever's going to be governed by the law. Okay? Now, in order to have a trust, and why we say that there's 3 parties to a trust, is because of what's happening here on a macro scale with the torus field and the trek of the sun. Who does this benefit? Life on the plane of Earth. Life on the plane. The plant life, the animal life, and human life. The aquatic life, and human life. All benefit from this scenario. Because once you're back out here, back out into a tour, now you're touring once again. You're touring, right? Because that eye is open. That one eye is open. Let's go to the illustrations. And when you're back into touring, when you're back into the conscious realm, you're in sin because you're born within sin. So who do we have? We have the symbol here, and it's more than just a symbol for Baphomet, but this is also the Baphomet symbol. There's the goatee of the ram, right? Right there sticking out. Bing. Now, what do we have? You're touring. Here's the diamond shape. Remember I said that's a representation of the eye, or the acorn, or the not the eye, but the pineal gland, right? You have on the side here another representation of conception on both sides of the diamond, right? Here's the penis penetrating through the womb or vagina, impregnating the female, right? This is what this symbolizes. We know that Satan represents as both male and female, okay? Or Baphomet is a male and a female. And Satan so rules the physical realm, earth, land, sea, above and below. Doesn't it? Okay, why the rams? Now we see a more like picture of Baphomet. Now it's coming through more. We see the ram in that. We see the ram or the goat. The goat, right? Here's the horns. Why is the horns here? Well, you have the torus field and the divergence back into right here, creating the horn shape. That's why they call it. That's why they call it a horn torus field. And right here, we have it. Let's take a look real quick so this recording stops. It's probably going to stop abruptly. Horn torus funnel. So what's really happening on a 3D sort of illustration here, the energy is funneling in around like this in a donut shape. Now, if this was completed, all this energy would be folding over like this, all the way around, right? Magnetic energy back down into the hole or the womb, the transporter. This is the beam me up Scotty right here. This is the center. This is the center of the earth. This is the North Pole, right? This is where your military, your United States military, are ordered to not allow civilians to. Why? Think we might hurt ourselves? Shouldn't a free, sovereign being, solvent being be able to travel any place on the earth? But we can't go here if you're a fucking civilian, right? Yeah. Right. Now, here we have the center of an apple. This is a representation of nature in correlation with what's happening with the torus field, right? The apple is an expression of what is happening on a larger scale. Here is the impregnation or the seeds. Here's where life is duplicated here, right? Now we have the north and the south. The south is also spitting out little leaves down here at the bottom of the apple, right? And that represents the outcoming, coming out of the reemergence into the physical realm of consciousness that we're on. Now, the stem connects to a branch of the tree, and the branch of the tree connects to the stalk of the tree down into the ground where it's rooted. So these apples are hanging off of a stem that's coming out of a source that's coming out of the ground, a resource of energy, a resource of nutrients for the apple to grow is all being given from the root of the tree up the tree. And I grew up with an apple tree in my backyard, so I know what I'm talking about here. Okay, we ate many apples growing up. Maybe that's why we still around in halfway decent shape. Apple a day definitely does keep the doctor away. That's a true statement. Because look at what's going on here. This is a representation of basically the torus field, sort of. It's doing the same thing, right? Life comes from the root. So to return home, one would go north on this apple, up into the root to return home to the tree that's rooted in the ground. So the crown would be actually the ground or the roots in the plant kingdom. And here would be where the fruit grows, or the flesh of the fruit occurs here, and it expands out. If this apple was whole like this, and it was top down, you would see the roundness of the apple, and it is doing the same thing as this funnel. It's like an example of the funnel. And if you could imagine the apple stem coming up right here at the period, at the pole, right? And the rest of that apple growing out like that and down, right? These are like two-dimensional, but one-dimensional or whatever. So it's hard to maybe imagine it, where I'm trying to go with this. But then you have the center seeds and everything like that. Okay. Now here, just an illustration of the vortex as this energy here folds down into that hole. This is just like a more focused into the whole what's going on, and it's vortex. It creates a vortex or a funnel down in there. Okay, what that has to do with all of this have to do with black being a ghost. Well, it's a secondary uh, significance. It has secondary significance as to what why the black is a ghost and what we're referring to. That's something first place would be the fact that it takes the other colors in our spectrum of light on this plane, because again we are partitioned off from a lot. So we're not saying that there is not an actual color black, but it's not operating on our plane of existence in our spectrum of light. We're dealing with 5 colors or 4 colors: red, green, yellow, blue, and white. That's 5 colors. All of those colors are mixing to create these subordinate effects or shades of those colors, right? Of those other colors. So, for instance, when you mix red and blue, you get purple. Well, purple has a lot of dimensions of other colors or other shades of color, like burgundy. A lot of times you see blue, and we'll call it grape, or a grape would be something one would think would be purple, but you go in the grocery store and you see a purple cabbage called a red cabbage. You see purple rice from India. When you soak it, you can see that or if you boil it, the pigment that comes off of the rice is purple, not black, but they call the rice black rice, okay, or brown rice, but it's purple. At any rate, uh, so you have to mix other colors to get this effect. Now, what's happening here is density and darkness from colors mixing. The color red, blue, yellow, green, and white. You get a dense effect, which is squeezing out the light or concentrating the light so much to the effect that it appears dark. Why? Because light is a physical property. It is taking up space. And the more space that the highly melanated being absorbs, the darker it becomes, simply because it is void of space now. The space is being filled. It's creating so much depth that darkness appears. So why do you need a word called black? This is the point. Black is being used as a tool to hijack dark and density. And it's being pitted against white. And as I said before, white is just simply a depletion of color. But white is being pitted as a light itself. So if you're white, you are the light. No, that is wrong. You see, this is what we must address. And without getting you all into the black and white issue amongst those who refer to themselves as black and white, that's for another day. We're talking strictly science now, and we're not being emotional about it. And we're going to go exactly 60 minutes, and we're going to stop if it does that. Okay. Right? Yes. And here's your Liberty Bell. This is the new birth. See the head? You have the hands, right? The body and the feet. And this is how a new birth is born out of the womb, right? And when the bell, you know, is ringing, see, you now have liberty. Why? The head of the body is swinging and hitting between the legs of the womb. Now this is representing the womb. Okay. This is representing the womb now, because the birth is coming out here. This is how the womb, right? And when you swing the bell, it makes a sound. Boom, boom, boom. Now you have liberty. But is liberty freedom? Actually, no. Liberty is giving you permission to, right? Now, bell is interesting. You know, the cow wears the Liberty Bell. You have the Southern Belles who wear the dresses, right? And those are the ladies. And they wonder, they don't maybe know what that actually means, the bell. You have the bell lamp. This provides the light. All right. But now, B, L. Now with L, you have the two 90-degree angles. With B in itself, you have the bosom, the butt, the booty, the breast, the beauty. Then we have the E, B. Well, like I said, here we have the bumblebee or the snowman. Why I keep talking about the bees? Because the queen bee. I'm referring to the queen bee. Let's find an illustration. I'll tell you what, I'll do it on this one. What the heck? I don't want to mess this up. Let me see something. Since we're talking about the bee, all right, we're going to go there. Let's go there with this one over here. Let's not mess this one up. Let's go there with this one. All right? Let's go there with this one. Since we're doing all that, well, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Let's find one. Real quick, then we're going to end it. But we need to change our image. We need to change our image because people are afraid of us. People are afraid of black folk. They run from black folk in the alley, in the parking lot, at the grocery store. They're scared to get in their cars and stuff. All right? And so, we don't want the world afraid of us. Why would we want the world afraid of us? That doesn't make sense. That's crazy stuff, man. We need to get off of that. We can make a lot better strides with people not being afraid of us and just admiring us for what we do and who we are. Okay, so the antenna of the bee is out there like that. Right? Let's just say, right? There we go. Right? And then you got the eyes of the bee. Or something like this. They got a lot of dots in them.